Dear Harvey, my daughter is 11 years old and all her life has dreamed of being a performer. She attends a local drama group and loves to sing, dance and act. Was she one day able to realise those dreams, and had Ashley Judd and others not come forward and been brave enough, there's every chance in a few years' time she would have been taken to a hotel, duped by your staff, ended up alone with you and chased round the suite by you naked, masturbating, threatening her, terrifying her for your own enjoyment. You have daughters of your own, Harvey. Unlike you, their lives are just beginning. As you begin therapy, I suggest you start by thinking of all those 11-year-old girls over the decades whose singular talents you have taken advantage of, whose dreams you have decisively and forever defined. Why it was you named a company after your parents, Miriam and Max, and swiftly embarked on a concerted campaign entirely to befoul those names. Why you then named your next company after their only other name, Weinstein, and did precisely the same. And why it was you struck this insane bargain with yourself in the first place, and how it absolutely did not work. Because if Chocolat was Citizen Kane, Chicago were the Battle of Algiers, and the King's Speech were Casablanca, this is still what you will be remembered for. Yours, Jez Butterworth.
Why have you decided to write this letter?
This is a really important subject to me because I want this to be a watershed moment so that people who have behaved like Harvey, because it's not just Harvey, people who have behaved like him are now scared, and that women who feel that they've been treated in this way will feel the courage to come forward.
So what was it like working with him?
At that point, Harvey was as as charming as the next sociopath. I mean, he was quite clear quite early on that you were dealing with someone who you didn't encounter every day. He didn't mind turning meetings into fights. He didn't mind humiliating people. He had immense charm, immense intelligence, or he wouldn't have been successful in this business. But the thing that struck me more than anything else was that there was something deeply wrong with him.
Is there anything about the film industry that kind of allows this stuff to happen?
So many of the people who've come forward have said that he'd be passing it backwards and forwards from moment to moment, from a business meeting into a sexual encounter, back to a business meeting, and just confusing the hell out of what register it was that these people were communicating to one another in. He's obviously, practiced at this. I think any situation we have in the future where people aren't allowed to kick this into any kind of grey area whatsoever like that, that's how we should try and set up a business.
And what do you say? Do you say shame on all the people in his company, shame on the assistants, shame on all the people around him that allowed this to happen?
Absolutely. I mean, that's part of the culture, was part of the culture of Miramax. You could just tell that Harvey was surrounded by people that were fixing things for him, fixing him to behave badly. That was all I would say, was that they were you'd be in situations where they would witness appalling behaviour, threatening behaviour, physically violent behaviour, and it was just accepted. They tried to smooth it over. I think my second meeting with Harvey ended up in a big punch up in the street in New York, where me and the producer, because he was trying to separate me from my producer, he said, if you get rid of that guy, I'll give you a 3-picture deal. It was after that, it was 30 seconds later, it was a big fight in the street. And, so that was the way in which he conducted his business.
Why has it come out now, do you think?
Harvey's not as powerful as he used to be. His stock has dwindled. And what tends to happen when people's stock dwindles is that people are less afraid of them. Harvey's been phenomenally powerful for decades. He's been abusing that power for decades. That is something that has had a falling off recently, and I think that people have realised that they can speak out, I suppose.
Did you know he was a sexual predator and a bully?
I didn't know. I would only know if it had happened to me. I was 28 years old when I met him, and I count my lucky stars that I wasn't a woman in that situation, because things would have been vastly different. And that really, really upsets me. All these poor women have been trying to do is do the thing that they were born to do, that they had the talent to do, and men are stepping in there and exploiting that.
How important is it that men as well as women speak out?
This is a moment where that can all change. If all the hideous behaviour that Harvey Weinstein has shown the world is going to have any use whatsoever, it's that we use it as a watershed moment to get other people to come forward and make similar complaints about other people.